welcome back to the show that you love and that we love to perform for you. It's a performance above all else.
How have you been?
I've been great. How have you been?
Good.
That's lovely. Had a lovely week?
Fine week.
Heck yeah. I love to hear that. Well, listen, we're not just here to chitter chatter. We're here to host a podcast called The
We're
Island.
here to chit chat.
We're here to chit chat. We're cutting out the ers at the end of that, and we are talking about a show called The Island Shuffle because we're hosting it.
How about that show?
How about that show called The Island Shuffle? What do you
New
think?
episode out today.
New episode out today. In
this very
It's
second.
on your devices. It's queued up. It's playing. It's about 42 seconds in, or I'm not counting for the intro, so it's about
We're looking at just over a minute.
just over a minute of us jibber jabbering and hooting and hollering and saying all sorts of syllables. Hey, maybe they accidentally downloaded the wrong podcast. What is the premise of this crazy podcast that they've downloaded?
Well, we watched the show Lost and we talk about it, but there's a catch.
The catch is
We watch
this
it out
big.
of order. We watch it out of order.
We don't watch it in the right order.
Yeah, not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
No, dude.
etc.
We watch it. We watch whatever episode fate decides for us.
Yeah,
And-
through random.org, this incredible random number generator that
Oh my
uses
God.
static to generate randoms.
I love pure randomness, and I love chaos, and I thrive on chaos.
Uh-huh.
So I'm glad that we are doing this podcast so that I can.
Because it is sort of just
Yeah.
chaos.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This is episode 23, which is one of the fucking numbers. But I don't think we've ever really had an episode that revolves around the numbers yet, so it doesn't really matter.
Actually, we haven't.
No.
I sort of have forgotten that they were
Same.
like such a big thing.
Same. A friend of mine recommended, like, hey, you should do a special thing for when you get episode 4 and then episode 8. And, like, by the time he suggested that, we were already on, like, episode 18. So it was like, okay. Like, no, nothing doing, really. What episode did we watch this week?
We watched Season 6, Episode 17, a.k.a. Part 1 of the series finale.
The End.
The End.
The End is the title of the episode, and it's also the end of the show. We only watched part 1 of it. It's kind of, unlike all the other finales, it is all one thing. It was presented as one thing. A lot of the finales were presented as kind of
they
one
were
thing.
two parts.
But then they got kind of divided in, like, the DVDs and
Uh-huh.
such. But the end is all one big thing, no matter how you slice it. But we decided, like, we cannot watch 2 hours of, like,
And
Lost.
it is, I mean, chronologically, and it is
Mhm.
considered episodes 16 and 17.
Exactly. Or is it 17 and 18? Doesn't matter that
Might
much.
be.
It's fine. It's whatever it is. We only watched part 1
Uh-huh.
of the finale. So we didn't watch the ending of Lost.
I still don't know how it ends.
Still don't know how it ends. So we won't talk about that this episode. But that'll come up someday, I'm sure. One of these days. Maybe next episode.
Maybe, yeah, who knows? Let's let the static decide.
So yeah, let's let the chaos decide. Where do you want to start? Because there's a lot to unpack in this guy.
It was fucking weird.
Pretty weird, huh?
So, where did it start? It starts with alternate timelines, pretty much, right?
It starts with basically a montage of, in the alternate timeline, we see a coffin get unloaded from an oceanic plane. And we later learn that this is Jack's dad's coffin.
Christian Shepherd's
coffin. And we see this montage intercut of the people in the alternate timeline, just to catch you up. In season 6, there's a fucking alternate timeline where 815 didn't crash, but also everything's weird all the time.
Let's run through what everyone is doing in that timeline quickly.
What we know is that Sawyer is a cop.
And Miles is his partner.
Miles is a partner. Jack is there. I think
Jack is just a doctor.
Jack's still a doctor. He's
and
fine.
Juliet is a doctor in the same hospital.
Yep.
/ is Jack's ex-wife, who he has a kid with.
Yes, that is true. Kate is there, but Kate is still just an escaped convict.
Because she has murder in her heart.
She has murder in her heart that follows her across timelines, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Where everyone else's life is like sort of shockingly different. Hers is actually the exact same.
Exactly. There are more. Oh, and Desmond and Hurley are like
these badass dudes.
They're these badass dudes who understand the nature of everything and are guiding everyone along.
Yeah, they see the future and they understand how to like communicate between timelines. Which is fine, I guess.
It's great.
Who else we got? Charlie.
Charlie's there.
Charlie is still playing in Drive Shaft.
Saeed is there too. Saeed also, like, we haven't seen much of Saeed alternate yet, but as far as we know, he's still tormented about, trauma and such.
Bad dude.
He's tormented about all his torment. And that I don't think that's it, but like
that
the rest
about sums it up.
them
yeah,
the
what
major
else do we need?
players.
Oh, Locke is still in a wheelchair,
Yep.
and in this episode,
Yep.
Jack's gonna do a surgery on Locke.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot. Like, for the most part, for most of season 6, the alternate timeline feels like who gives a fuck.
Yeah.
It literally is like this cardboard cutout universe where we're asked to give a shit about things that are of literally zero consequence to anything we've ever seen. And towards the end of season 6, they start to have some fun with it when Desmond starts to like get enlightened or whatever and is helping everybody like figure it all out. Like, that's fun to see because everybody's just like, what the fuck?
Well, this was the first time
Yeah.
and I think we've only seen it once or twice,
Yes,
but
yes.
that I've enjoyed the alternate universes.
Yes.
Because exactly like you were saying before, they had no bearing on the real story because it's like, oh, cool, it's an alternate universe, but like this, or an alternate, what is it?
Alternate time. Let's call it an alternate timeline for now.
An alternate timeline, but it had no bearing on the timeline that I give a shit about, which is the one where they're on an island.
Exactly.
Whereas this one is interconnected with that, and it seems like the actions that people are doing in this weird timeline where Sawyer's a cop have an effect on the other timeline. So it's like it's finally becoming like good sci-fi or something where it's like starting to bend the ideas of reality.
I would like to, can you point to an instance of the timelines intersecting or having an effect on each other?
I feel like it's just alluded to. And there are several experiences of like people connecting with the other timeline.
That's true.
Remembering the island timeline when they're in the other one.
That's true.
And in my view, Desmond and Hurley seem to be working to create something that will have more of an effect on the island timeline than it would on the current one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you're not off base at all. I obviously don't want to tell you how
We've
it all
got a
wraps
lot
up.
to learn. Yeah,
exactly. I'm sure people who are watching are like you know, like basically you're watching it. I'm watching this from the perspective of Desmond and Hurley, and you're watching it from the perspective of everybody else.
That's really funny, actually. Yeah,
so,
that's really funny. It is funny, like when we get up to the more fucked up parts of this show.
This is like really fucked up.
It's insane too. I'm so glad that like now was an appropriate time for us to like. This is one of the first episodes where we could have even taken this on as a task.
Exactly.
10 episodes ago, I would have been just so lost.
Oh my god.
Wow. Get lost.
Get lost. Yeah, no, imagine if we got this within like the first 10 episodes. It would have just been like nonsense.
No. Yeah.
I'm glad that this was not our first season 6 episode.
Yeah,
or else
me
it would have been just like, what the fuck? It's still pretty what the fuck. Let's unpack some like other like bits about the alternate timeline, as long as we're like, let's just get the alternate timeline out of the way.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
So there's a couple of scenes. I might have closed my notes. One scene that's worth mentioning is that Sun is in the hospital and Jin is there too, and they are speaking to each other in Korean. And in comes Juliet, and Juliet's like, "Hey, Sun, you got shot." I forget how that happened, but Sun's been shot.
Oh, I didn't know. I did not realize that she had been shot.
That's fine. This episode throws a lot of information out all at once, kind of. So Sun has been shot, and Juliet's like, "I'm here to make sure your baby's okay." And Juliet kind of does an ultrasound, and when she does the ultrasound, Sun suddenly remembers her
she
island
remembers
life.
all of her past in the alternate timeline.
Exactly, and so does Jin when he sees the baby on the ultrasound. They both have like they remember their whole life on the island, and they go wowie, and then suddenly they're talking perfect English.
They're speaking perfect English.
Yeah.
That is incredible. That I love that as a plot point so much that through remembering the experiences that they've had in a different timeline, they also gain lingual capabilities.
Of course. It's a whole lifetime you're remembering. You don't forget a language you've learned. So
shocking.
Yeah.
So shocking.
That's what I like about it, is that they've like I I don't think this episode justifies a miserable ass season.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that they finally got around to getting buck wild with this.
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, that's sort of what is almost frustrating about watching them do this, like, timelines intersecting.
Exactly.
And it's like, it doesn't even all have to make sense.
Exactly. It should have just been.
Just do something crazy.
It should have just been popping off way earlier. Like, episode 1, it should have been like two Jacks are looking at each other and like being like, what?
Because that's interesting. It's not a waste of your time.
Exactly.
But we did get to it finally.
Yeah, we finally got to it. And we got to cut ahead of it more than most people. Most people had to sit through 5 whole seasons of Lost before they got to this point.
I can't believe we're going to watch every episode.
Isn't that
shocking?
Isn't that something? Isn't that just something? Other remarkable scenes. Hurley spends a lot of time being a really cool guy. He is talking to Saeed. He's driving Saeed around.
So sick in this timeline.
And Saeed doesn't understand what's going on. Saeed is I don't know who you are. Please leave me alone.
Saeed is a bumbling loser in this one.
And
Hurley is wearing a suit. Yeah. He has a gun.
He's trust me. And also, okay, here's the scene I want to talk about. Hurley goes to get Charlie. And Hurley's like, "Hey Charlie, you got to come with me to play a concert." And one thing I want to point out is Hurley's pure fucking joy when he sees Charlie. He's hyped.
He's stoked. He loves Charlie.
He loves Charlie so much.
They're friends.
And
Charlie's like, "Didn't you see the do not disturb sign?" Because he doesn't even fucking recognize his best friend Hurley.
No, but Hurley knows him. Hurley knows him.
Because Hurley knows for some reason. I'm interested to find out how Desmond and Hurley have these connections.
I think that I don't want to say too much, but I do think it is that's one of the moments like that are what sell me on liking the finale instead of not liking the finale. Which
of course. There's so much redemption that takes place in this where it's because for so long you watch them essentially destroy characters.
Yeah.
Really just ruin their motivations and just make them unlikable. And here you just to see Hurley get excited at seeing Charlie.
Yeah.
It's we hadn't gotten that for 4 seasons at this point.
It's so it's such a fucking fresh drink of water. God, it's good. And also Hurley is a beacon of light throughout the whole finale. But Hurley, given Saeed is just "Okay, man, you clearly don't know who I am. I'm this. I've done this." And Hurley's just "Saeed, I know you. I know you're a good guy. Trust me. I absolutely know 100%." He gives him such a earnest and encouraging pep talk, and it's oh man, my heart.
He says too. He does sort of corny maybe people have been telling you're a bad guy for so long that you're starting to believe it.
Yeah.
But don't let anyone tell you who you are.
Yep.
And it's oh, Hurley.
Yeah.
Wow, you're just reeling it all in. You're just fishing souls.
Yep. It's just, hey, wow, hold on to that one. Hold on to that gem for when we watch the next part. It's so good. I think it's definitely corny as hell, but I think it feels
may
earned
as well
to
be.
me. It may as well be. That's exactly it. If I want to watch a finale of Lost, I want it to be give me the characters interacting with each other, being friends.
Yeah.
Give me that good character shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want.
Because it's an ensemble show. And
exactly.
I want to see the ensemble.
Exactly. And
I
I
don't
think
give a shit about Michael's struggles in the
Exactly.
city away from the island. I want the ensemble.
Yeah, I want everybody interacting, and I think the Sideways stuff does a great job of that. Speaking of which, you get a great little scene. So Locke is going in for surgery, and who's his doctor? But guess who? It's fucking Jack, baby.
It's gotta be Jack.
It's gotta be Jack. And they're having a cute conversation, and Locke's like, "Well, I'm scared," and Jack's like, "Don't worry, I'm good at this." And Jack's like, "Actually, maybe I'll kill you." And Locke does a very nervous laugh, but at the same time there's a sense of relief to that laugh. There's a lot of fucking good acting in this episode of Lost.
It's good. It's fun.
It's well acted.
It's friends hanging out.
It very much feels like these guys know that it's the finale. They're not going to get to act with each other again, and they're giving it.
Yeah.
They're really putting it in there.
They're giving her.
They're giving her.
Bud.
God, I like it. I think there's no real main plot thread to the alternate stuff. It's just
No,
like,
there really isn't.
it's
It's
just
like
kinda like-
expose.
yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like Desmond and like Hurley go around like trying to enlighten other people. Oh,
What
Saeed,
other experiences do we get? We get
Saeed.
the Saeed outside the bar is good.
Yeah, Saeed goes to save a person getting beat up outside the bar, and it's Shannon.
And then he sees Shannon and he remembers.
yes, he remembers
And
his
Shannon remembers
yeah,
too.
and they kiss.
And what I love about that is that Shannon remembers, like, oh, back at the island. But it's like she died at, what, season 1?
She died like early season 2. She's
She
like,
should remember, like, dying.
yeah,
and shit,
she's
too.
like, oh, remember that time we kissed and then I died?
Died like 2 days later.
Yeah, that was great. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
well.
Hey.
Power of love, you know?
Exactly. That's the power of love.
The power of love.
That's the power of love.
Power of love.
I think that's all that's really relevant in the sideways time.
Yeah.
There's nothing really
I wish. I'm thinking about what happened with Kate, but I don't think anything happened.
nothing
with
really.
Kate.
I think like Desmond signs for the coffin at a church.
Oh,
That's the first
there
thing
is
of the episode.
one really important thing.
Yes.
Is that where a lot of things it seems like will culminate
Yeah.
in part 2 is
Mhm.
at a Drive Shaft concert.
Yes. Okay, that's why Hurley's going to get Charlie is to go play this concert. Jack and Juliet talk about like, hey, did you get tickets to that Drive Shaft concert? It's all gonna culminate at some concert.
Drive
I
Shaft
guess.
is getting back together.
Yeah, and it's the most important concert of both timelines, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, Hurley says to Charlie, like,
Mm.
playing this concert will be the most important thing you ever do in your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so sick that, like,
Yeah.
a Drive Shaft concert is...
It's great. It's
Yeah.
like completely just like, let's do this one for the fans.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
silly.
I
It's-
love Drive Shaft.
It's such a
I
silly
hope
plot
we
point.
get a bit of performance.
We will. I don't want to spoil too much, but we do.
Are they going to play that song?
I hope so.
What is it? How's it go again?
It goes, you, all, everybody.
You all, everybody.
That's the one. Classic jam.
Yeah, I like that song.
God, it's good. So that's the alternate timeline stuff, and it's not as bad as it usually is. In
It's
fact, sometimes
fine.
it's pretty good.
That shit's fucking fine. I like it.
It's like they're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be having fun with it for the first time like we've seen.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, I don't know. I can't understand why they didn't make the two timelines interact the entire time.
Exactly. That should have been like such a bigger thing.
Because it's so fun to watch them interact. Even
it
just
should've-
mirroring each other slightly
exactly.
is fun.
Yeah.
But none of that happened.
exactly.
Oh well.
Yeah. It should. Yeah. Definitely a lot of wasted opportunities in the
It's
sideways
almost
stuff.
like the last season of the show was just bad or something.
I think it was pretty much just bad, and then they kind of rescued it from a nosedive.
Pulled it together.
But hey, you haven't seen the final part. Maybe it doesn't.
It's actually so fucked how that's just a thing that happens to shows.
Yeah. Sometimes they just get bad.
They just keep going.
They just keep going.
They get so bad.
I mean, that's what's weird about Lost is that it's not like. It's not like, you know, like most shows, it's like, toss another season on the pile of kindling.
yeah.
Like, but this one, they were like, around season 3, they were like, oh, we can't keep spinning our wheels forever. 3 more seasons and we're done. And then they set that deal, and that was it.
And they couldn't do it.
They
They
couldn't
should have
do
said
it.
one more season
They
and we're
should
done.
have. They should have. Imagine
One
that.
more season would have been great.
One more season would have been crazy. I would have loved, after season 3, one more like season 3 size season.
Yeah,
I think that would have been a
exactly,
great
right?
way to pop
Exactly.
things off.
Like 24 more episodes.
Exactly.
I could do like 2 13-episode seasons.
Mm-hmm.
This whatever you got to do to like stop before season 6 takes place.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So where are we at on the island?
Where are we at on the island? People are hanging out.
People are hanging out.
It's sort of like a paradise resort.
Yeah, it's like fun and everyone's having a good time. It's tropical.
Uh-huh.
Jack has become Jacob now.
Oh yeah,
That's where we
really
are at.
interesting.
Yeah, Jack is Jacob.
Well,
now.
that's slightly interesting.
It's as interesting as Jacob gets.
Yeah, I guess so.
So Jack is Jacob now, and Jack says, "All right, Jacob told me we've got to protect the heart of the island, because that's where the smoke monster's going. And if the smoke monster gets there before we do, he's gonna put out the heart of the island, and we're all gonna die." Something like that.
True. Yeah. That's pretty much
I
it.
think that's pretty much the stakes of the episode.
Jack, Jacob, Jingleheimer, Schmidt. His name is my name too.
Bum, bum, bum.
Whenever
bum,
I go
bum,
out,
bum,
the
bum,
people
bum,
always
bum,
shout, there
bum,
goes
bum.
Jack, Jacob, Jingleheimer, Schmidt.
Da, 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 da. One more time.
Jack, Jacob, Jingleheimer, Schmidt. His name is my name too. Whenever I go out, the people always shout,
There
there
goes
goes
John
Jack,
Jacob
Jacob,
Jingleheimer
Jingleheimer, Schmidt.
Schmidt. Great. Just a
So
little.
the heart of the island.
So the heart of the island. So the heart of the island is apparently the back of any given school bus. And just a little goofy song for you listeners at home. So here's the deal. They're going to the heart of the island, and they okay, let me look at my notes and get a sense of what's going on, because a lot of this is intercut with sideways stuff, so I keep kind of getting confused. So Sawyer basically says, I'm gonna go. For some reason, Desmond is critical to the heart of the island for reasons I kind of forget. But Locke wants to go get Desmond. So Sawyer says, I'm going to go beat them to the punch. But they end up meeting, I'm getting too excited.
It was that song, wasn't it?
Yeah, it got me all riled up. I'm wondering, there he goes, There goes Jacob, Jingleheimer Schmidt. Okay. So Sawyer arrives at the well.
Yeah.
And
okay.
they meet and Sawyer meets Locke. But Desmond is already gone. Where's Desmond? Desmond wakes up among the house of Rose and Bernard.
Incredible scene.
Yes.
Because every time we see Rose and Bernard past season 4, the only thing they're ever doing is basically saying we don't want to be in this scene right now.
We don't want to be involved in this drama.
Yeah, we don't want any of your drama.
Yes.
And people just keep coming to Rose and Bernard because they're dicks who keep getting Rose and Bernard involved in the drama.
Exactly. And they just that's what I love about late period them, is that they're just fuck it, we're just living in the woods now.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember last time we saw them, they were living in the woods back in the 70s. Now they're here. And then they're the same age. Who cares? Doesn't matter.
They just live in the woods. It's okay.
Just
let them be.
Just let them be. And
they have Vincent.
They have Vincent.
Important.
Vincent is there. The dog Vincent is there, and he's very good.
Very
good dog.
good. I was really excited to see that Vincent is one of the few characters that makes it from episode 1 to
episode final.
Yeah,
episode 120.
Final.
Yeah.
This is Final Tap.
No items. Fox only. Final episode of Lost. And
Final Smash.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Bernard strolls in. But who's following Bernard but Locke? And Locke is the smoke monster now. Just as a reminder, Locke is the smoke monster now. Locke is not Locke. He is the smoke monster now. And Locke says, hey, come with me, Desmond, or I'll kill Rose and Bernard. And Desmond agrees. Sawyer catches back up with Jack and the gang. Jack, Kate, Hurley. Literally the protagonists. Same protagonists that were on the dock at the end of last episode that we watched. Literally the core protagonists of the show. And so Sawyer catches up with them and gives them the deets. He says, Locke has Desmond. Locke is going to take Desmond to the heart of the island. What are we going to do, Jack? And Jack just says, well, we're all going to the same place. Let's just fucking meet up. Let's just get right down to it. Let's just meet Locke.
Let's
just
do
it. So they do. And Locke, as soon as Locke shows up, Kate opens fire on him immediately.
Oh, yeah, she just starts shooting.
Yep.
And everyone in this show just wants to kill someone so bad, and they can't hit anything.
Well, Locke, I will add the caveat that Locke is immortal right now.
I guess.
So Locke doesn't.
But still.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's kind of
toss some garlic at him or something.
Yeah, get a cursed something or other.
Yeah.
Get something ancient. Give him a pill.
Give him a pill.
So
boil up a pill.
So Jack and Locke kind of
square
off. Give him a wheelchair. Locke and Jack square off, and they're like, "Hey, Locke, you're going to the heart of the island. to blow up the island? Is that what you think Desmond's going to do? That's not what I think is going to happen when we bring Desmond to the heart of the island. Here's what I think's going to happen. I'm going to kill you. And they basically decide, like, all right, let's just, put aside our differences for now and just go to the heart of the island and see who's right about this.
Yeah, let's go together.
Let's go together.
Buddy.
Hey, buddy. We're just like old times, baby. Ben's there, too. I forget who else is there. I don't think anybody else is there.
Ben's chilling. It's just Ben.
It's just
and
Ben.
Desmond.
It's Ben and Desmond. And so now this whole crew is going to the heart of the island, which is near a bamboo forest, which is where Jack landed in the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Just a fun little fact. So they get there, and they basically decide it's going to be you, me, and Desmond going on from here. And Hurley says, hey, I believe in you, before they go. And so they go in.
Because Hurley is like a wholesome, sweet boy.
Hurley's just so damn wholesome in this episode. So Jack starts tying Desmond up to lower him into this. They reach basically what is like this low cave with a shimmering light coming out of it. Like it's really like a video game-ass save point or something.
It is. It really is.
Mm-hmm. They're going to go in there and they're going to save their game. And then they're going to do some more exploring in the Metroidvania game they're playing.
Might accidentally blow up the world, but don't worry.
They've got to save.
True.
They've got to save. So Desmond's getting tied up by Jack, and he says something to Jack. He says, hey, you know what? None of this matters. 'Cause guess what I've seen? I've seen another world where this plane never crashed. And you were there, and we had a conversation. You were happy. I'm going to try to figure out a way to take you to that world, Jack, I think. I think that's what's going to happen when I get down there.
Are they going to merge timelines?
That's what they're hinting at, isn't it?
Wow. That's cool. I didn't really catch that. I think I zoned out for a second.
Might have zoned out. And Jack kind of replies being like, man, I tried to change the past. It didn't work out. All I did was set off a bomb. And so I'm like, trust me, this all matters. Everything here matters.
Yeah,
it's a perspective.
Yeah, I guess so.
So they start lowering Desmond down because the cave kind of goes and then it dips into a waterfall. And so they start lowering Desmond down. And they have a little chat, and Locke is like, hey, we're sending Desmond down a hole in the ground. Remind you of anything? Remind you of a button that we could argue about pushing? And Jack is basically just like, you know what? Fuck you. You're not the real Locke. And just, why don't you just shut the fuck up and see what happens?
Yeah, buddy.
And then the episode,
little smoky,
and then the episode ends with a shot that parallels the shot that's our album cover. It's the camera goes down the waterfall and it's Jack and Locke looking over.
It's cute.
It's a cute little like, hey, remember this guy?
Oh yeah.
Lot of cute, hey, remember this little moment things in this episode.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a nice nostalgia trip.
For sure. And I think that it succeeds at that.
Yeah.
There's another minor plot that's happening on the island that is weird.
What is I forget. Yeah. I do remember what it is. It's the Miles, Richard.
Yeah. The motley crew of Miles and Richard. The immortal, ageless Richard Alpert and the guy Miles. So Miles helps Richard up, and they basically are like, we're gonna go blow up the plane. There's a plane. They're gonna blow it up, and so they're sailing across and onto the island where the plane is. And while they're paddling, they come across a dead body.
Yeah.
And then they come across Frank, the pilot, who's dressed in a pilot uniform and whose only role is to be a pilot.
He's just hanging out. He's hanging out in the water.
He's just going for a dip.
I really like that the dead body that they see is frozen with his arm in a certain position, and you see a crazy facial expression.
Yep.
And then Frank is just hanging out on a buoy.
Yep, Frank's having fun. Frank's just chilling in a life jacket.
Little help over here.
Please help.
My smokes got wet.
So they help him up, and then he's basically like, hey, don't blow up that plane. We got to blow up the plane to keep the smoke monster from using it to get out. And Frank is like, why don't we just fly it out our own damn selves?
Yeah.
Because then the smoke monster won't have a damn way to get out of this crazy rock.
Then they say, how are we going to do that?
And Frank says, in case you haven't noticed, from the uniform I'm wearing and my entire character up until this point, and every single instance, every single productive thing I've ever done, I'm a pretty good pilot.
Fucking incredible.
Really good moment.
Truly a line that, like, I can't believe they let them use.
Literally,
in case you haven't noticed, I'm a pilot.
Fucking wearing full pilot regalia, as he's been doing for like 2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
Don't worry, Frank. Everyone's noticed.
Yep.
We just think you're incompetent because we are literally pulling you from a wreck right now.
We're saving your life, and you just
see
like,
that last person
Yeah.
that you tried to pilot away? He floated by a raft dead.
And now like you're acting like, oh yeah, you're welcome for finding me. Like,
In case
hey,
you haven't noticed, I'm a pilot.
I'm a pilot. Hey. So Frank's a pilot, and then they arrive at the shore, and who is there but Claire? And Claire shoots at them for no real reason.
Claire just shoots at the ground in front of them,
Yep.
too.
And Richard is basically like, hey, Claire, we're going to leave this island. I know Locke fucking messed you up over the past couple years, but you can have a chance to get away from him and get away from all this forever, for real. Don't you want that? And Claire just says, no, and leaves.
That's it.
That's it.
Scene, that was by far the worst scene in the episode.
For sure.
Because Claire's character had no motivations.
No, there's nothing.
There was nothing behind that scene whatsoever.
There's nothing. Claire is the character. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. She was the pregnant character who is a love interest for Charlie. And then once she is done being pregnant, she doesn't really do much other than have a baby and be Charlie's love interest. And then they stop figuring out what to do with her, and it sucks.
Yeah.
They never knew what to do with her, really.
No, exactly, right?
No.
And she was always like token Australian, too.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, she never had any real motivations.
Exactly. She's a real...
She had no motivations.
Exactly.
I can't think what she wanted.
I don't... Like, she wanted...
Take care of the baby.
Take care of the baby.
Sort of be with Charlie.
Be with Charlie, and then Charlie died, so what's that leave Claire with? Baby. Pretty much.
And she gave up the baby.
She gave up the baby to go be crazy in the woods for a while.
I guess. As you do.
As you do. And, like, yeah, Crazy Claire is one of the, like, wilder things about Season 6 that just is, like, this... Like, there's a way to execute this that's cool and good, but it's not at all.
Yeah, no, they didn't do a good job.
They didn't do a good job. Anyways. So what do you think of the first part of the finale, and what are your expectations going forward into the second part of the finale?
I liked the first part of the finale a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I think part of what that has to do with is just that, like, the expectations got so low as you learn more and more about Season 6.
Exactly.
And then you're like, wow, they're still using all the elements that they built on.
Yeah.
But, like, it isn't complete trash anymore.
Yeah.
It's like they're still using the elements of, like, heaven and hell.
Yeah.
And, like, Jacob versus Smoke Monster and alternate realities. And all of those have been such a tire fire every other time they tried to use them.
Yeah.
But now, because they're finally forced to wrap it into a package, it's like, oh, all these loose ends are, like, starting to fit together a tiny bit.
Exactly. I think there's like a world where Season 6, like, the finale shit that we see pops off like halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Like the temple stuff gets omitted entirely.
Yeah.
And then like the last half of the season is just like big time buck wild
exactly.
all the time.
Is like basically what we saw in this episode.
Exactly. I would like that's the Season 6 I would I would defend. I would be able to defend such a Season 6 if it was just like stuck to the like wildness.
Yeah.
Instead
it's
of
like
just
but
being...
here what we have here is like they made a gigantic mistake and are doing a decent job of at least like saying I'm sorry.
Saying I'm sorry, having fun with it too.
Yeah.
It feels like they're having fun with this episode in a way that they aren't in any other Season 6 episode we've seen.
Yeah, that's completely true. It's like there's less seriousness to it, even though everything is so much more serious.
Exactly, and the stakes feel like they're there.
Yeah,
because like the island's gonna destroy.
Exactly.
Finally, like the stakes are clear and present and real instead of just being like, it's a secret.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know.
Maybe you'll learn a bit more about heaven and hell.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that shit sucks. I don't know. That's always been my number one, like, just pet peeve in, especially shitty things. Just when they don't do a good job of telling you enough information or like as much information as you need to really care about
exactly. It's the like I understand that the whole premise of Lost is built on like
withholding
information. Exactly, the information grip. But like there's a way to do it that like sometimes the show does really well.
Yeah.
And in season 6 it does miserably.
Yeah. It should feel like you're building a puzzle, not like someone like has their arm on your forehead while you try and walk forward. Or
yeah, that's exactly what it feels like a lot. Like all the, for instance, I keep bringing up the temple stuff, where it's like it feels like in the Lost that I have built up in my head, it feels like they would say like they would pull the like you're not ready for the answers bullshit once, and like they would be like, okay, well we're just gonna leave, bye. Like
exactly.
we just came back from the past, so we're going to like
not gonna chill in a temple for 6 episodes while like
Exactly.
nothing happens.
Exactly. It's like it's such a I don't know. But again, like as far as like the end is clearly the best season 6 episode.
Yeah,
it's so
yeah,
far and away
without
the
a
best
doubt.
one. And
having seen like 2 others or 3 others,
Yeah.
I can absolutely agree.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a good
because it's decent. It's fine.
It's a good finale,
like decent TV.
Exactly. It's entertaining. It's like well shot. It's like they and I want to mention the music really does overtime in this episode too. Like some of Michael Giacchino's, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but some of his best work is in this episode for sure. Like the super like melodramatic strings in that first montage with the coffin. It's like I like went into this finale like ready to be like, oh brother, a season 6 episode, and then that like music started and I was like, oh
There's
fuck,
mood
dude.
attached to that. There's like stakes attached to that. Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't know, it feels so much more thoughtful. Everything is just composed. Like shots are composed. The musical instrumentation goes along a bit better with the visual and the tone of the thing.
It's one last gasp of like decent television from a pretty alright show.
Yeah, exactly. From a show that did produce that week after week for a while.
Yeah. Now I'm excited to revisit this when we watch the final part of the finale.
Me too.
The true finale. Because I'm wondering if this sentiment will hold up or if it won't. As you may be aware, the finale is quite polarizing.
Yeah, I'm excited to find out. But I don't know what I will think of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know what happens at the end of the show.
Yeah, you have no idea, don't you?
No idea.
Like, what's your... I want to hear one prediction for something that's going to happen in the finale.
Fuck. What do I think? I think the Drive Shaft show is gonna be fucking sick.
I predict that they're gonna rock our socks off.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know exactly where they're going with it, which is sort of good.
Yeah.
Because the gang's gonna get together in the alternate timeline, and then I'm not sure what they do from there.
True. Yeah.
But I don't know. I predict that the 2 timelines will like merge.
Yeah.
I think in some sense, or maybe like the end for one will be the end for the other. I don't know.
Sure. I'll accept that answer for now.
A big ol' I don't know.
Don't spoil it for James, please. All right. I think that's a good note to end on. I think. What are we at? All right. Let's. Before I roll for the next episode. What do you say? I announced that along with our Facebook page, we now have a Twitter account.
We got a tweet.
If you want to at some tweets at us, holler at us, hoot at us on twitter.com, the worst website on earth, maybe. You can follow us at Island Shuffle. You can also like us on Facebook, and that is the extent of our social media presence. You can also follow
That's all you get.
You can also follow me at Barrier Trio and James Brown at James Brown.
I may tweet once every month.
And hey, they're quality tweets.
And there was a week or 2 where I was going at it.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go at it.
Yeah.
You got to make your voice heard. You got to scream into the void every once in a while.
Might go for another Twitter attempt in the next week.
Yeah, go for it.
Try and hop back on there.
Hop back on. Okay, random.org. And let's go roll ourselves a number for next week. How about?
All right.
Got to change. Not 100, 120. If
121, actually.
121, that's right. Yes. If we get 121, are we watching the finale?
Oh,
next
yeah.
week? All right.
I hope we get 121. I want to see how this ends.
All right. Generate. 39. What do we got?
39. We have... It's a Saeed episode. It is season 2.
Yep.
Episode 14, titled One of Them.
Okay.
It is one episode after our pilot, The Long Con.
Oh, wow. We'll get to see exactly what happens after that long con, finally.
Yeah, the guns.
The guns.
The guns are going to be in play, everybody.
Sawyer, finally. Some Sawyer. Also, I think our first Saeed episode.
We had a Saeed Future weird episode where he was a spy.
But we had to cut that episode.
Oh, yeah. We
Yeah,
didn't have that.
Yeah, we didn't have that episode. So this is our first Saeed episode.
Our first Saeed episode,
Yeah.
everybody. The Long Con.
Join us next week where we watch Saeed probably do some fun stuff.
I can't wait.
He's going to have some fun. All right, thanks for listening to us.
Thank you.
We've been the Island Shuffle.
I hope you have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I've been Dean.
I've been James.
And like we say at the end of every episode, yeah.